of information about middle school and what we've been talking about with middle school and what our middle schools are starting to shape up to be. If you are a 5th or 6th grade parent, I believe you got a communication from Andy Fields and myself last Friday, just a little letter saying, hey, don't worry, we're working, we're doing it. Today then I can come and start speaking with you a little bit more in a little bit more detail. So I think it's important to first, to use this, not that, to talk a little bit about, well, last time it was like so cool. Anyway, we want to first talk about where we've been so that you just have an understanding of that this isn't just kind of, hey, let's turn into middle school tomorrow, but that we have been, that we have been working, and it all started, of course, with the bonds. This was before I was hired, but in 2015 there was a bond referendum, and we all remember that bonds are for buildings, and so what the bond did is it gave us enough space to actually consider the idea of having PK through 5th grades in our elementaries, and then 6th through 8th grade in our middle schools, but then also having the 9th through 12th graders go to the high school. So the high schools are feeling that big influx, or the high school is feeling that big influx of students. So when I was hired, one of the first things that I was asked to do was to start with Mr. Fields, the principal at Oakland, to start researching what is it going to take to put together a middle school model. And so we started looking at different funding mechanisms, or not funding mechanisms, but what the different models would cost the district if we were to go to them. So in fall 2015, we put together 4 different options for the board to start looking at and for our district administration to start looking at. One of them was sticking with the same model, which was cost neutral. The other was going to a 7-period day, but asking teachers to teach more hours per day, and so that was actually a reduction in cost. And then we asked them to look at an 8-period day, where teachers would teach 6 of the 8 periods. They would have a team meeting time together during the day, and then their individual prep. So that was about an $800,000 cost. And then we also looked at a 7-period day, where teachers would teach 5 classes out of those 7, have an individual prep period and a team meeting time during the day, and that would be an additional $1.2 million. So we presented those to the school board. Starting in November of 2015, we did it at a board retreat. We had that initial conversation. We then did a formal presentation in December of 2015, so just about a year ago now. And then in January and February, we started trying to move staff into new positions. So we opened that up, and a lot of staff members said, well, there aren't that many jobs available at that time, and that's just because we didn't know what model we were going to use yet.